Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 4. It is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. I would like to take this time to welcome each and every one of you to my FlossTube channel. If you're new and you like what you see, I hope you will subscribe and like and ring the bell and share and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. If you are returning, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am thoroughly enjoying the dialogue and conversation that we are developing through the comments. I feel like slowly I'm getting to know each and every one of you, and I want you to know that I don't take that for granted, and I appreciate all the time that you give me by watching this channel. So thank you to all of you. As you have seen from the title today, I am going to jump into a WIP parade. So I'm not going to follow my traditional schedule with starts and WIPs and such. I have a little bit of housekeeping I would like to address, and then we're going to jump right into the WIP parade because, as you guys know, I like to start things, so I do have a few. So to start off with, I would like to give some thank yous to FlossTubers that have given me a shout out. The first one is Weedy Flower Creations, Karen. She is across the pond. She cross stitches, crochets, knits, and is also a cross-stitch designer. Thank you, Karen, for giving me that lovely shout out. Second, Stacy at the 911 Stitcher. Stacy, you know how much you mean to me, and I appreciate your kind words and all of the support that you've given me over the time that we've known each other. And we have met. We did get to go on a retreat together in February where we went to the attic. And so, Stacy, thank you for the support that you've given me. Jen's Stitching Niche, thank you, Jen. I have always admired your energy, your Etsy store, which I think she is switching over to a online presence. She's been very busy. She's going to be starting a new job. She's moving in a couple of weeks. She's still stitching all the things. And if you haven't gone to watch her FlossTube, I do encourage you to do that. Little by Piku, and that's P-I-K-K-U. This is Jess, and she's from New Zealand, and she is just lovely. She has beautiful projects, and thank you, Jess, for shouting out my FlossTube. And finally, but certainly not least, is Marlene at Stitching by the Lake. Marlene was one of the first FlossTubers that I started watching back during the pandemic, and we're talking one classy lady. I love the things that she stitches. I love her calm presence. I love just the goodness that she brings to the world. So thank you, Marlene, for that lovely shout out. Now I'd like to address a couple of FlossTubes that I've been watching. We have a new FlossTuber, Grace the Paisley Stitcher. Hold on to your pants for this one. She is an amazing stitcher, and she has some of the most beautiful projects. She likes large projects. She likes reproduction samplers. And it sounds like from this first FlossTube that she's put up that she's going to dip her toe into some designing and reproducing of some samplers herself. So go and watch her FlossTube and just be amazed. The second person that I've watched that is new to me is Heidi, at Stitching Faye, and that's stitching, and then it's Fae. I will put all of these in the description box. Heidi is one of the most prolific stitchers I think that I have ever seen. She does a variety of projects, Mirabilias, Nora Corbett's. I don't think there's really anyone that she doesn't do and that she doesn't do beautifully. So if you get a chance, go over and give her a look-see and see what you think. Now, I did want to address one of the comments that I got based on what we discussed in FlossTube number 3 about things that we used to do with our organization of threads when we got kits and those types of things. This lovely woman left a comment on my Instagram account because she was having trouble leaving her comment at the comment section of my video. And in the 60s, she was describing that her mother and her grandmother would use a Sears and Roebuck catalog. And they would put the floss in, for example, floss 310, which is black, would go on page 310. And so they would match the page numbers of the catalog to the floss numbers on DMC, which I just thought was fascinating and wondered if any of you had ever seen or heard of that being done, because that was new to me. So we're going to jump into one. I have one fully finished project that I'm just really excited about because I did something different. So this is Merry Christmas. It was a freebie by Liz Matthews. I stitched quite some time ago. I'm not really sure. It was just a scrap piece of 36 count linen. I did use some Victorian motto thread that I had in my stash. But the finishing is what is a little different, and I was very excited about. So just a cloth background, but the finish is a ruching with fabric that I tore into strips. And so this is a combination of tutorials, one that Vonna Pfeiffer did in the, it was the spring issue 2022. And then I combined that with sort of a ruching technique that was just on YouTube, which is running with scissors, stitching with Jane and Julie. And they did what they call a delightful detail video, which I encourage you to check out. And Julie showed how to do ruching. So I combined the Vonna's fabric strips and then ruched this, and I just was really excited about the finish. So anyway, that's hello from Liz Matthews. It was a freebie. If you subscribe to her newsletter, you will have access to those. And I'm looking forward to having that for Christmas. So we're going to jump into the WIP portion of the video. And what I plan on doing, I'm going to do these in sections, and so I will stop, I will clear my table, and then I'll go back and get the next batch. The first few that I'm going to show you, I guess would be UFOs. I started these right at the start of the pandemic when I didn't know there was really anything but 14 count Aida. It's not that I don't enjoy stitching on Aida, but what I don't enjoy anymore is using more than one thread. And so these are pieces that either I'm just not going to finish or I'll discuss as we go along. So the first piece was this set of Words to Live By. I don't know if you guys remember those. That was by Tiny Modernist. There was 13 sections, and I'll just kind of flip through those quickly. Very colorful, very cute. And of course I wanted to do them on black because that's how it was shown. She supplied a border if you wanted to do them all together, but you could obviously do them as individual flat folds or pillows, which I think I still may go back and really look at them and maybe pick out some individually. But anyway, these are all 13. I don't want to go too fast, but there is the piece all together. So I did start this on 14 count Aida that you could build a house on. It was so hard, and I did not enjoy stitching on this particular piece, but I did get this far, and it's gorgeous on black, and the border is so light and cute. But if I go back to do this again, I will have to pick a different fabric, and I don't intend to finish this piece. So that's number one. The second one, again, I started immediately on a 14 count Aida. This was Tree of Life, and it's by Barbara Bates Hillman. I absolutely love those colors. This was all DMC and a 14 count Aida. Now, if you guys remember, or if you didn't see it, I had a panic attack when I saw how many threads I left. We're just going to get past that, because these early pieces, I used to just leave threads all the time. So this has a lot. Okay. Anyway, so you really can't see a whole lot about it except for the beautiful colors. So my thoughts on this is, I do like this piece, is that perhaps I might go and try a piece of 20 count Aida. I've never stitched on a 20 count Aida, and I'm thinking that I might do that and see what I think. I probably definitely will do this with the next piece that I'm going to show you. This is Gizmonda by Muha. Isn't that how Chris Cross Stitch said to say it? Gorgeous piece. Now, the interesting story about this is that I have two very good friends. Many years ago, at least 20 plus years ago, I did the first piece for Terry, and it was her 40th birthday, and I did La Trappistine. And then for my friend Sheila, when she turned 50, again, 20 years ago, I did this La Tosca, which was Sarah Bernhardt. And my plan was to do Gizmonda for myself when I turned 60. Well, we know that boat sailed. So I started it, but again, I started it on a 14 count Aida. I got this far, and again, I so apologize for the threads, but I always stitched you just one row at a time, and so I just parked the threads as I went. But this piece in particular, I'm really thinking that I would like to try it on a 20 count Aida and see how that looks. So that's kind of the thoughts I'm having about those pieces. Now, okay, we got that. This piece was a fundraiser to raise money for Chester, who was a cat. This was put out by Whistle Stop. And you know what? I will probably have to put, yeah, I will insert a picture here of the finished piece. I am stitching this on a 36 count Wren with the called for Weeks Dye Works, gassed and gas threads, and I got this far. It has one of my very favorite sayings referring to animals, and let me see if I may not be able to pull that up, but it is, until one has had, let's put this all together and see if we can't put it, because it is a beautiful piece. Until one has loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. Isn't that the truth? So I do want to finish this piece, and I will give it some time, but I haven't really touched it for quite some time. But it is certainly not a piece that I intend to give up. So again, that's Chester's Place by Jennifer at Whistle Stop Designs. Okay, and then the last piece before I change my group of whips is Anniversaries of the Heart. So here's the deal with that. I love it. I love Blackbird. I have loved stitching this. I have all of the charts. I have the threads for almost all the pieces. I don't think I realized that there was over one. And some of you have asked me to make distinctions if there are specialty stitches in the things that I stitch or over one. Pretty much what you've seen so far, there has been no over one because I sort of run the other way from it. But this did, and I have struggled. I think it's been very hard for me. So I have gotten several of the blocks done, and I will show you. So this is the first one, and I'm just not organized enough to show each chart. So this is January's chart. I know a lot of people weren't really happy with the how the colors came out on it. I left them as called for and just went with it. My husband Stan's birthday is in January, so I put his initials here, and then his date of birth. And so that was the January chart. The February, which did have the over one, this is dedicated to my cousin. I lost him during the AIDS epidemic. He and I were extremely close, and it was a huge loss for me. And his birthday is in February, so I did do his name over one, but it is a struggle for me. And then, as you know, this middle block is just sort of a freebie. And then I got to the March block, and that saying there is all over one. And I've originally tried doing a little bit on it as I worked on it, but I have to admit, it just sort of took the wind out of me. And then I have moved on to March's block, and I have two aunts that I'm going to dedicate this block to. So bottom line is, I am going to put on my big girl pants. I will get the one over one done. I will continue to work on this, and we'll get that finished sometime in the future. But I love the piece. I just got a little thrown by the one over one, and so what we're going to do now is we'll stop. I'll go get the next batch, and I'll be right back. Hi, we're back. I did want to just clarify the piece, Chester's Place. I know I started mentioning that it had been a fundraiser to raise money for a kitten or a cat that needed some dental work, whose name is Chester. And if you remember or not, from my first video, my dog's name is Chester. So it's another reason why I very much want to finish that piece, because I'm pouring out all the love that I have for my fur baby into that one. Okay, so this is what we will call the modern folk embroidery portion of the program. And starting with one that you've seen recently, Fruits of Plenty, which I will put a picture here of what it looks like finished. I have completely done down through, I have, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So I have 3 months left. So this is that piece. It is on a 36 count ivory even weave. I'm doing it in 939 and 932, and so I am ready to start the last 3 months, which is very exciting. Absolutely gorgeous piece. So this is Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. Okay. The next piece from Modern Folk Embroidery, most of you have seen as well, and that is Move Forward in Love. And this was my retirement piece that I started the 1st of June. I have made a little more progress, I think, since you've seen it last time. And this is stitched on 32 count Lakeside linen in the color Cotton Candy. I'm using the called for DMC. It is a happy, joyful piece. Again, by the incomparable Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery. Okay. Next on the list is Ruskin's Penguins, which you have seen as well. I am doing this on, let's see here, let's get the chart. One can't be angry when one looks at a penguin. I read that backwards. I am stitching this on a 36 count eucalyptus by Fox and Rabbit, and really haven't done too much more since you saw it last. I'm using the Leo and Roxy threads, chalkboard, and weathered white. And this is a piece that I'm considering giving to my husband's son who loves penguins. So that's Ruskin's Penguins. The next, again, you have seen, is a fundraiser for the Brain Aneurysm Fund. This is by Modern Folk Embroidery. Jacob designed this and in conjunction with Caroline at Evertotes. Her husband is running the New York Marathon in November, and the plan is to raise money for brain aneurysm. And I think there is a sale going that is hashtag MFE brain aneurysm. I'll put it in the description box below. So I am doing this on, let's get this up here. Okay. A 36 count Brenda's Brew by R&R Reproductions. I'm using Silks for You PR 123. And I need to give this a little more love. This is Birds from Bernard's Books by Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery. Okay, the next piece from Jacob is Real Comfort, a Jane Austen sampler. I think he did this for a 200th anniversary. Let's see, we'll get the chart right here. It was the 200th anniversary. It's gonna escape me, of her death, and that was done in 2017. So, the amazing Jane Austen, the amazing Jacob. And I'm doing this on a 36 count platinum, using again the Silks for You PR 123, and just a small start, but I think if I gave this a little more time, it would finish up quickly. So that is Real Comfort, a Jane Austen sampler. I still have several of his pieces that I have not started yet. I am a real fan of Jacob and his designs. Okay, the next piece was a new release, I think in March. And I had to have it. I just had to have it, and I got it, and I got it started. And that piece is A Tisket, a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. This just took my breath away. From the first sneak peek, it is just exquisite. I am doing it on a 36 count smoky chimney by XJU Design. I did want you to get to see some of the colors. Now, there's a lot of color changes in this. This is a piece that you do have to concentrate on. The blues are quite similar, and so it takes some concentration, but it is really just gorgeous. So we can get this open, and this is how much I've done so far. Again, there's those strings. So many of you are so kind and just said, well, that's because you were working and stitching. But I love this. It just looks like it belongs in a gorgeous dining room with wood. And so that's A Tisket, a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. And that is the called for floss that I'm using for that. And then next, the last one in this group is Beautiful Things by Lindy Stitches. I have, again, several of her pieces that I have yet to start, but this is the chart. I'll try to get it without the glare. And this is Oh My Darling, It's True. Beautiful things have dents and scratches too. She just has a way of putting them together. And I am doing this on 36 count earthen with the called for overdyed floss and DMC. And I've gotten this much done so far. I love this piece of fabric, and I just love the whimsiness of Stephanie's designs. So that's Beautiful Things by Lindy's Designs. I'm gonna just give a little insert here on how I label these project bags. I have one of these Kodak printers. They will print from your phone or your iPad your photographs in a 2x3, and I make a tag, and I can show you one here, and I put them on the project bag. I make the tag and usually put a little scrapbook paper. There we go. And so that's how I keep these labeled and keep them organized, so I know what's in each bag. And then I will insert a picture here. I have a bulletin board downstairs that I call my wall of finishes. And so I hang these tags up as I finish a piece. And then my eventual progress with that will be to put those tags just in a little scrapbook. That they are just the pictures of the covers, but I just thought it would be fun to have a quick a way to quickly look at what I have been stitching on. So I will be right back with batch number 3. Okay, and moving on. I did want to say I will put a link. I did get this at Amazon, and you can get the refill papers for this as well. And I'll put that link in the description box below. It's great. It's just a great little tool to begin with, but I love it for having to be able to make labels for my project bags. Okay, so the next piece is my 25 minutes, 25 stitches, 2 threads a day, and that is Miss Sarah Jane by La-Di Da. And I have made a lot of progress on that since you've seen it last. So this is it here. As you can see, I've got her dress, at least part of her dress, down to the bottom. I got all the words and dates across the top. I have finished the right side of the border. So the dress is a beast, so there's still a bit to do. But I'm confident with just a couple of threads a day, we'll get that knocked out. And it's such a sweet little piece. Okay, the next piece is a new start, but a new start for a great reason. Friday was August 12th, which was World Cross Stitch Day. I mean, you have to start something new for World Cross Stitch Day, and I did. And what I chose was M&A 1853 by Needlework Press. That's just an explosion of color. I don't know what else to say. Brenda of Brenda and the Serial Starter, she recently finished this, and it is gorgeous. And it is pretty much the inspiration for why I went ahead and picked it up and got it started. So I am stitching this on a 36 count Heartland. These are the called for over-dyed floss. I had already had it kitted up. It was ready to go. Look at that blue. And so this is my progress so far. A few little hidden threads here. Let's see where we are. Okay, so this is my start on that. And you can see that's small because I have taken the border across. So it won't take a whole lot to get that knocked out. Isn't it just gorgeous? So exciting. So that is M&A 1853 by Needlework Press. You really understand the luxury of having a Brenda when you do a WIP parade all by yourself. Sorry for the zipper, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, the next piece is Elizabeth Isles. You guys have been seeing that one on a regular basis. This is the chart. It's by the Scarlet Letter. This was a sal that was started for Laura Duet's 60th birthday. And I am doing that on 36 count Swank by Fortnite Fabrics, which I would buy it by the yards if I could. I love this piece of fabric. Using a conversion that was done by Jody of Trixie Tricycle, using Leo and Roxy Floss, which you can get at evertotes.com, Caroline's store in Canada. So this is, I'm so close. I've got almost all the words in. I have 2 cherubs, and I also purchased Ymir's silk pack, almond M&Ms, so that I could diversify our little angels a bit, so you can see that those skin tones do change as you go around. I have left that there's a center section, that's really hard to show you, right across here, that's going to be all satin stitch. And I'm a little trepidatious about that, but I will forge ahead. So that is Elizabeth Isles by the Scarlet Letter as a sal for Laura Duet's 60th birthday. The next piece is A Heart Remembers. by Blackbird Designs. It is from the book, again, that was released in March, A Heart Remembers. I think I can show you a picture of it without showing the chart. Yeah, which is right here. Try to get that glare off. Beautiful. And I'm doing this on a 36 count piece of doubloon by Picture This Plus with the called for overdyed floss. I actually have worked on it for the last couple of days. I couldn't put it down. That's the way with Blackbird sometimes, isn't it? So we are there. The house is finished. I got this bird and flower in. And then I was starting to take the border around. You can see from me, I'm not one that tends to do the border first. I try to line up and anchor the motifs with the border, trying to prevent maybe making a mistake, but it doesn't always work. Anyway, that is A Heart Remembers by Blackbird Designs with the called for floss. I actually have the floss for all the pieces in that book. The next piece is, again, Blackbird Designs, and this is Little Birds. This was a sal for the amazing Betsy Klager's birthday, and that was hashtag Betsy is old sal. So this is the floss. It's just beautiful. I'm using the called for overdyed flosses. It's just gorgeous. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Heartland. Well, let's see how much I've accomplished and how many threads are hanging. But, well, yeah, I've got a pretty decent start on that. The border is complicated. There's several color changes in those flowers. But look at that piece of fabric. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So that's Little Birds by Blackbird Designs for Miss Betsy Klager's birthday. Okay. Next, we have, oh, this piece. I kitted this at the attic. We went in February, and I didn't really realize that we were going to get to have this incredible opportunity to go to Tanya Brockmeyer's home, who is the designer for the Scarlet House. But I picked this up just because I saw it stitched on the wall, and it was so gorgeous. And that's the Smith Sampler by the Scarlet House. And these are the pretty much the called for silks. They're a mixture of dinky dyes and let's see, Belsoise and Glorianas. I think there was one that they just couldn't get, maybe Woolly Bear. And so there's a substitution there that they gave me. Those were our floss tags for the little retreat. And I am stitching this on, oh, you'd like to see the picture of the Smith Sampler. Look at that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that white swan. I think I've gotten to the white swan. I probably will have to just leave this out and do a bit of stitching. It is so gorgeous. The little project bag was made by Barry. Barry gave us this. And if you haven't gone over to see Barry's FlossTube Stitch Folk, she is the maker of extraordinary project bags. But she did put this together for us as a memento. And my stitching is here. I think there's going to be lots of threads again. Okay. But there's quite a few color changes in there. But the swan is coming out. Oh, look at those colors. It's just gorgeous. So that is the Smith Sampler by Scarlet House. A memento start from my first trip to the attic. Okay, and that goes there. And then this piece you have seen. Well, I kind of had to pull myself back together because I'll see what happened, but I'll probably leave it in because it's got to be hilarious with me screaming. I knocked my camera over. So I'm back, and we're moving on. Whip, whip, whip. So this last piece, and then I have one more bunch, is Away We Ride. And again, you guys have seen this piece. This is, again, by Blackbird Designs. And I'm doing this with a Vicki Clayton Silks conversion. Look at that lusciousness. I don't know why I always want to put that in front of my face. Yeah. And I'm doing it on 36 count in Dora, which is just an incredible piece of fabric by Needle and Flax. Perfect for Halloween pieces. And this is my progress so far. So that is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. So that was a little short interlude, and I will be back with the last group, and then I think we'll all have a laugh. Okay, take care. Okay, here we go. Last batch. All right, this is Thurza Priscilla Dawes, 1870. It's designed by Julie of Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World under Hemlock and Rye, and this can be purchased on Gumroad. Again, I will put everything in the description box below. I'm doing this on 36 count Eureka by Fox and Rabbit with the called for DMC in the aged colorway. As I explained before, she charted it in the age colorway, which are the colors that you see from the front of the sampler, and then she did a bright colorway, which would be from the back of the sampler, and I chose the aged. And this was the piece that had all the threads on it, and it still does. Not because I haven't worked on it. This is just unbelievable. This, if you can see this center flower here, right in here, had so many color changes. Actually, you know, it looks better than it did last time you saw it. I got rid of some of those threads, I guess. But I just love working on this. We did have a Zoom with Karen and Brendan of Fox and Rabbit on Sunday. They are in the States. They will be attending summer school at the attic. And we had a lovely time stitching, and it was wonderful to get to see them relaxed, because they have really been working hard making all this fabric that we enjoy stitching on so much. So that is Thurza Priscilla Dawes by Hemlock and Rye, which is Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. The next piece is my Temperature Butterflies. I think I'm going to have a bit of a crash here. Things are slipping. Okay, this is it. This is by Stitchin' Mommy. She has an Etsy store, and I'm doing this on a piece of, I'm pretty sure it's 32 count Seraphim in Summer Storm, and I quite like her fabric as well. You can see that July almost has, which is this butterfly here in Northern California, has had almost no color changes because we have had multiple days in triple digits. and we are currently going through a 5 or 6 day stretch of triple digits right now. But I've almost finished July. I need to start cranking out the outline for August, so I am a bit behind, but I really enjoy this piece. It's a lot of fun to work on. So that is Temperature Butterflies by Stitchin' Mommy. Next piece is Dancer by Barbara Anna. I will show you that here. This was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine in the Christmas Winter 2021. And I did get a bit of progress done on that since you've seen it last. So we're starting to see his nose, and his ears are done. Just beautiful. This is on a 32 count Murano in Splash Granite using the call for DMC, and that is Dancer by Barbara Anna. Okay. Next is the, oh, I don't see it. I must have misplaced my card. But it is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. And that is this lovely piece. It's a Bristol sampler. I'm using Gloriana silk in the colorway Poinsettia. It's just gorgeous, the variegation. I'm stitching it on, I think this piece of fabric will be labeled, because I seem to be missing my card. It is a 36 count antique ivory, and this is my progress so far. I did get a chance to work on that. I do try to stitch on Thursdays my red samplers, and the two that I have going right now are Mary 395. I just love this. And TGA, a red work sampler by Just Stitching Along, which I'll show you next. Okay, so that is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. And then this is the TGA red work sampler by Just Stitching Along. Again, this was a piece that I purchased at the attic in February, and I'm stitching it on a 37 count Legacy Russian tea cake. I'm using the Swatege 946 and 4636 with the call for overdyed and some DMC. And so I got all the way to the bottom. It is a long, narrow piece, as you can see. I put in more of the darker burgundy letters. It's gorgeous. Always keep a piece of red work sampler going. Okay, so my next piece is Susanna Eccles by Mama Loves You GB. This was a piece that sort of took the internet by storm. I am doing it on a 36 count Winter Wren by Fox and Rabbit. I will put a picture here of the full piece as I'm working off of a PDF. And I'm using a conversion of Vicki Clayton silks. And I have done some work on this since you've seen it last. So again, it's a small sampler, so there's still quite a bit of border and some motifs at the bottom, but I really like it on this darker piece of fabric. So this is Winter Wren by Fox and Rabbit, Susanna Eccles by Mama Loves You GB. She has an Etsy shop, and I will link that below. Okay. Next piece is Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House. This was a relatively new start for me, and we'll get that as good as we can without a glare. I'm really looking forward to edging myself over to that beautiful house. When I showed you this last time, I neglected to mention there was some over one. That's too bad. But so I made myself jump in and do the heart. The heart is over one. And I have started this row of diamonds that goes across here. It will go all the way across. And then her work in the year is over one. Darn it. Anyway, I will put the big girl pants on and I will do it. I am stitching this on 36 count Mayflower Mocha by R&R Reproductions using the called for overdyed floss and DMC. And that is a beautiful piece, Seeking Refuge. And it's a wonderful piece to have when you need to seek refuge. Okay, now this is will be a new piece to you, and this is Teresa Kogut's Pet All the Dogs. I love dogs. There we go. This was a piece that I kitted up at Acorn and Threads in Portland, Oregon. The first time I went. The second piece that I kitted up was Mary 395 a year later. And I'm stitching it on a 36 count Weeks Aspen using the called for overdyed floss and DMC. And this is my progress so far on that. It's kind of hard to show. Let's get back a little. So I've taken it pretty much down. The border met to that horizontal piece there. But I've still got a house and some big trees and lots of little dogs and letters, but yeah, I was just making sure I was showing you the right side. Love her colors. You know, that's not the right side. Okay, let's do that again. I thought those stitches really are kind of ugly. Okay, now we'll back up. There we go. Pet All the Dogs by Teresa Kogut. All right. And then again, this is a piece that most of you are familiar with if you've been watching me, and that's Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower. And let's see what kind of progress I made on that since you saw it last. I'm doing this on 36 count Grape Harvest by XU Designs, and I'm using the called for overdyed floss in DMC. And yeah, I got a little bit more done since you saw it last. So there is, and there is some lettering up there in that yellow that does show up better in person. So, Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower. All right. And then Summer at Cherry Hill by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And this is the finished cover. I'm stitching this on 36 count Stars Hollow Blend by R&R using the called for overdyed floss. And I don't think I've done too much on this since you saw it last. I did make a remark about who tied her corset, and someone commented, well, you could tell by the look on her face it's pretty tight. But she's going to have that gorgeous big red skirt. So that is Summer at Cherry Hill by Brenda Gervais. And then two more. Can you believe it? This last one is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. I was fortunate enough to get this when they were giving it away free for 1 week back in 2020. And I'm doing it on a 36 count platinum. I'm sure it's platinum. Let's see. No, it's actually a 32 count platinum Lugana. And I'm stitching it in 310. And this is my progress so far. As we all know, the joy of these is as you stitch, you see all these people and critters and flowers and things that start coming to life. But isn't that just, it's just sometimes hard to believe that you've stitched that. But that is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. Okay, I have one more little piece that you have seen. I've got a little more work on it. But one of the things that I wanted to have this one last for is because, as some of you may have noticed, I, like Nicole of Nicole's Needlework, have primarily placed my stitching pieces in these plastic bags that we, not plastic bags, these project bags that we get at Amazon. And I just watched Nicole, and she said she did the same thing. However, she has started making her own project bags, and her enthusiasm and encouragement has just about pushed me over to try it myself. We have so many incredible designers of project bags that each have their own special touch out there, and we should all continue to support them. But at the retreat, Jan Holder was there, and so this was the first real project bag I ever had. And I probably scared her to death because she gave it to me and I just started crying like a baby. But just look at the, it's just gorgeous. It has a pocket in the front. It's lined. It's got a cute little charm. It's just gorgeous. And Jan, I treasure this. And I will put the information down below on where you can find her bags. She does sell them. And I'm keeping in this bag, I'm pretty sure it's Brenda Gervais Candy Cane Wishes, which I did a start in July for Christmas in July. And I'm stitching this on a, my card went away, 36 count Aspen with the called for overdyed floss. And I did do a little more work on that since you've seen it last. I was trying to get around to where I could get all those. I'm not really a fan of those long back stitches. I love the way they look. I just don't like doing them. And so I've been trying to get to where I could get them all done. So I just had fun stuff left to stitch, but it will be beautiful. So that's Candy Cane Wishes by Brenda Gervais. So we got through my first WIP parade. That's probably longer than you ever really wanted to spend with me. I have a lot of WIPs. It's sort of amazing when you actually kind of sit down and look at them. But here's some of my philosophy on that. I'm 71. I know that I won't get to finish everything that I want to finish. But I also know that I want to feel like I put the threads in the fabric for so many things that I do want to stitch. And so if that just means starting a lot, well, then that's what it's going to mean. I do get finishes, and I work for those, but right now it's just a joy to me to be able to say that I started the Smith sampler by the Scarlet House, or I'm working on a Bristol sampler by Hands Across the Sea, and that means a lot to me. And I will plug away as long as I can, and hope to show you finishes soon. So that's it for the WIP Parade. Again, if you like what you saw, I hope you will subscribe and like. And I can't wait to see the debacle of the falling camera. We'll see. I will try to leave it in if it's not like ear-shattering, if I screamed or anything. I am planning, as you've probably noticed, I try to put up a video every 2 weeks. I care for you all deeply. Thank you for watching. I appreciate if you hung out till the bitter end, your time. And so just remember, grab a project, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. Okay, bye.